Hi Flosstube, it is Helen D. Today is Tuesday, September 6th. Thank you for taking some time to spend with me today and talk all about cross stitch. It's dark here again today. I feel like the last 3 times I've tried to record a video, it's been really dark. It's been raining, but we really need the rain. So I even turned on the light back there because it was really dark. I hope everyone's doing well. It's been a 2 weeks here, just a regular 2 weeks. School started, so we're getting back into the school routine. Then we had a 4-day weekend. So this week, I think they'll kind of launch in to actual learning. They started learning last week, but I mean, last week was kind of introduction, going over what they'll be doing in the school year, and then I think this week it will be, let's go. Yeah, I have a lot to show you because for some reason I couldn't settle on a project these last 2 weeks. So I have a lot of things going on. And I'm realizing now that there's a couple things that I forgot to grab. So we'll just do our best. And here comes Emmy to try and get my water. She's gonna probably knock some stuff over too. If you hear any loud slurping, she's in my water. I almost got one with a lid, but I used it for coffee this morning and I was too lazy to wash it out. Now I don't have water. Hopefully I remember not to drink the water. So I did upload, since my last video, 2 different tutorials. One was a basic pillow tutorial. I always get a lot of questions about how I put my pillows together, and I know there's a bunch of tutorials out there, but I figured if people are asking, I'll show mine too. I'll throw another one on. And I plan on doing a series of kind of building from that, some different ways you can do your pillows and attach trims and things like that. So keep an eye out for those. Let me put this on Do Not Disturb. Between the phone and the cat and the darkness, who knows what's gonna happen today. So I did that one, and then I also, one of the fully finishes I have this week was my little Val Stuff bat. This is one of the ones I couldn't show last time because I had reached out to Val and I hadn't heard back from her yet. So this was from, and I forgot to bring it, it's from the Bat Kit Crazy from Val Stuff. And that kit comes with the design for 3 different sets of words and all the stuff to make the bat. I made the bat, I fell in love with the bat, I had to have more bats, but I didn't have enough time to stitch more bats for this year, so I played around and came up with a fabric-backed bat. So this is the tutorial that I did. But I did want to mention here, in case you didn't watch that tutorial, that Val is going to re-release the kits. She's doing a limited time re-release of the kits. I think they're going to ship toward the end of September, and then she'll do them through November, or she runs out of supplies. Val only does wholesale, so your shop, your LNS, your online shop, whoever you shop with, will have to contact her to get a kit if you're interested. And I went over all the details in that video of what's included. She had to make a couple of changes. The bat's eyeballs are going to be half circles because she calls for you to glue them on. I sewed them on because of Emmy. And she's using a different kind of felt for the back that's a little stiffer. But that's about it. They come in purple, green, and black. So that's one of my FFOs, and someone had asked if they could see, I mentioned I made a garland and that I hung them up on a window frame. So this is what I was talking about. I have this window frame piece I got from Michael's years ago. I made a garland and I ended up just straight tying the bats around because I couldn't get them to hang in the way that I wanted. So this bat, I'll tie him back on now. He goes right here. So that's how that looks. So Emmy shouldn't be able to get those. It's up on the wall, but she's untrustworthy, so who knows? So let me set those out of the way. So that was kind of, I guess, fully finished number 1. Number two, you've also seen if you watch the tutorials, this was what I used for the pillow finish tutorial because I was doing just a straight pillow with this, no extra panels or anything. So I did regular back. I did add some pom-pom. I talked about that in the video that I was going to. I do have a tutorial coming for pom-pom, but I didn't think black was the best color to show because it's hard to see. And then this one is for Donna, and she had gotten it. This is Needle Bling Designs, Frank in Stitches. She got this in a box, so I don't believe this is available quite yet. I looked on the Needle Bling like Etsy store and stuff, and I couldn't find it. So, but it came with the pins from Jabco, so I stuck those in. So that one is one of Donna's. And then the other fully finish I have is also not mine. This is This Witch Can Stitch, and this is a chart designed by Carla at Cobweb Corner, and this is actually Carla's piece. She said, oh, I don't know how to finish it, and I said, send it over. So she sent it over. So she stitched it on an even weave. I believe it's a 32. Her chart is available as a PDF, as well as a paper chart. I will link below to that. I think it's $5. It's very inexpensive. So I finished hers with a fabric panel with some rickrack and some purple pom-poms. You'll see this again because I have two tutorials that I've recorded. One is showing how to do the rickrack and the fabric panel, and then this is the one that I used to record the pom-pom tutorial. And I'm thinking I will upload those this weekend, and they're both very short, so I may just upload both of them. So there's that one. That's it. I didn't really get in the room like I said I was going to try and get in the room when school started. Didn't happen last week. First week back, I had a ton of things I just needed to do. So one other cute thing I want to show that's a fully finished, that's not even my fully finished. My mom made me a set of 3 of the most adorable little crochet, there's a name for them, origami, I don't know, they're little Halloween guys. I found the chart on Etsy and I'm like, hey, any chance you can make these for me? So she did. So these I'm gonna tuck in with my Halloween, like I have my Halloween things out. So there's a zombie with his pink brains. There is Dracula. And then there is the world's cutest Frankenstein's monster with his little bolts. He's so cute. So those I'm gonna tuck out. I put out Halloween and fall, which are the 2 seasons I seem to have the most of, and they come at the same time. So that's tricky to fit everything. So I ended up putting Halloween back here and back there. Fall on the shelves ahead of me, and then the rest of my Halloween is in the living room. So it's kind of spread out and mixed, but I didn't want to wait until October to put my Halloween out and then only have it out for 4 weeks. So I put it out now. That's it for the fully finished things. So stitching, I have 6 bags here, which is more than I usually work on. Whenever my son can't decide what he's doing and he's playing a video game or whatever, and he's like a little of this, a little of that, I tell him he's bebopping. I was cross-stitch bebopping the last 2 weeks. So I have one finish, and the rest are all whips. So I was working on the autumn berries. I believe last week I had finished this one. It's right here in this bag. So this is Autumn Leaves Abound. I did mine on 32 count platinum Lugana. Then I started the pumpkin one, Pick of the Patch. And I just finished this one last night. This one I stitched with the called for colors mostly. I think I had to sub out a DMC. And this one I chose to use 32 count Vintage Stormy Night Lugana, but the back side. So this is the front side. It's gonna get all blown out, but this is the side that's like mottled. And I actually flipped it over because I just wanted a basic gray. So I used the back side. It called for a natural Belfast linen, but I don't do linen. And I couldn't find a natural Lugana, and I had this, so it worked. So now I have stitched all 3 of these, although this one I'm going to put on that pumpkin. I need to get to that hopefully before I see you again. So for my autumn berry set, the 3rd one that I'm doing, I think I forgot to grab the color picture. This one was part of, I did a class with Linda Stoltz of Erica Michaels Designs last year, and this was the berry included in the class, so unfortunately this one's not available. It's called Blessed and Thankful, and then it has a row of leaves. I think there's leaves up here, and then like an acorn down here. And I'm using the same colors for the other autumn berries, and just kind of plugging along. And I'm going to make that my 3rd autumn berry. When I get those done, I will do a tutorial of making the toppers, because I've kind of been doing all of the seasons for the hashtag berry season sale. And I have my wool from Ruby Mountain, so I'll put those together. Whips. They're in no particular order over here. First up is my car project. I'm actually now stitching Carla's This Witch Can Stitch for myself. And that's, I can stitch. That's as far as I've gotten. I picked an 18 count from my scrap pile. I believe it's Dapple. So I'm plugging away on that. The other thing that I have, hold on, I'm gonna make one note because I forgot something. I have another project going for the car because that 18 count sometimes is too much. It's too hard for me to see, like at tennis, the light's not good, it just depends. And this is the other one that I forgot the chart. So it's not gonna look like much. Last year, I believe, Brenda Gervais put out the book Snowball. She was putting out all those books with like all the charts for the smalls. And she put out the winter one with all the cute snowmen. And I picked that up. Then I found these wooden tags at Michael's in the Christmas section. They were a pack of 50 for $10. And I had a 40% off coupon. So I snapped those up. And I did a little math, and I can fit, there was one little chart that had, I'm gonna hold them back because this is just the charts. It had 3 snowmen, and it was as if they were like little pictures, like Polaroids in a scrapbook. I can stitch these on perforated paper, and they will fit perfectly on those wooden tags. So I changed it so that it had, on the regular ones it has a white border, but I'm using white perforated paper. So I gave it a colored border so that when I cut around it, you'll see a little bit of the white. And then this is the little guy on the sled. So I've been working on him when I can't see the other piece. He's my 3rd, so I have 3 done. I was thinking I would do those for my teacher stitches. This bag stays down here. We'll see how many I get to. Cardinal Points. This one got a little love last week. Even this one, I'm a fall allergy girl. I'm a ragweed allergy girl. My allergies have been on fire the last 2 weeks. And my eyes were hurting, I think because of my sinuses. So sometimes this piece in particular was a little hard for me to work on. It's on an 18 count antique white. The holes are smaller. The light was reflecting off it. So it got some work, but it didn't get the full. But I made it to the bottom corner. So this is the bottom right corner if you're looking at the piece. So I think I got a couple of these leaves done, and then I moved over here. So I'm filling this in, and then my plan is to work my way up, kind of fill in what's on the Q-snap, and then move from there. So it's going great. I don't know, whatever I was gonna say, it is gone. Last video, I believe I showed this one. I pulled out some of my Halloween and Thanksgiving whips. I only had two. I had one for each. This one is the Boo, not Boo, I call it the Boo block, but it's 31st block from Hands On Design. I have that side panel done and I'm working on the top. I put my Boo bucket on there. So I have the bottom done. I have both sides and then it repeats. You can tell I kind of started it over here. And then the bottom of this one has the bottom of the pumpkins. I don't know if I'm gonna put those on or not. I might just be done with it by then. That one's on a 16 count chalkboard, and it's kind of a mid-afternoon when we get home from school, before we go to tennis, if he's having some downtime and I pull something out, if I pull that out, that's the best time that the light is for me to see it, except the last couple days when it's been so dark. This one I've made great progress on. This one last week I couldn't remember the name of, and it's called Give Thanks by Autumn Lane Stitchery. And I'm going to take it out of the Q-snap because what I worked on is on the bottom. Now I'm using them in a paper bag. So, boop. So this is Give Thanks. Well, now there's a full-on cat fight. I started this last November, and what I did was I wanted to start a new Thanksgiving piece. I worked on it every weekend in November and then put it up, and then thought I'll pull it back out this year and finish it up. So that way I had a bit of a Thanksgiving stitch going. I knew it wasn't going to get done for last year. So last year I finished, I had this bird, this truck, this line, most of the turkey, and like these pumpkins. So when I picked it back up, I put in the rest of these pumpkins, all of this stuff, finished the turkey, and now I'm up here at the top. So it says Happy Thanksgiving on the top, and then right here it says Give Thanks. And I'm saving that part for last because it's just a couple little words, so it should go pretty quick. This one is on a piece of coloring cotton. It's a 16 count Ada. I was in her club when it first came out years ago, and I held on to this piece because I loved the color so much, and it was perfect for this. So it's not a color she currently dyes. The tag's in here. Caramel latte, but again, it's not a current color. It's really nice though. And then I had a new start. Needlework Expo happened, and we were all looking at the new releases for Needlework Expo. I did order one thing. I know it's been shipped. I can't show it quite yet because I'm going to stitch it for the retreat I'm going to in November. But I thought, you know what? Last Needlework Expo, last fall, I ordered 3 things, one of which I stitched. The other 2 I haven't started yet. So I think I should pull one of those out and start it. So I did. I pulled out this one. It's called Autumnal Sampler. It's by Little Robin Designs. I love that moon. So I pulled this out. It's stitched on 32 count Vintage Stormy Night, which I had, so that's what I used. And that's where I got. So I'm starting the tree, and I'm stitching the tree vertically so that if it's stripy, it will be vertically stripy. And I did swap out the color. It calls for brown bear, but my brown bear wasn't variegated in the way that I wanted it to be. Like it was mostly one color and then like a little strip of a dark. So I didn't think it would look that nice. But I had bramble bush, and this is a crescent. So this is old. but it's got a nice variegation on it. So I'm using bramble bush for that. So slowly started that one. Will it be done this fall? We'll find out together. And that's my whips. I thought that was a lot of projects. Giveaways, and then I had a teeny tiny bit of haul, and that will be it. So giveaways from the last video, I had 2 charts. I'm a mess. I made my note in the wrong spot. Hold on, hold please. Okay. Last video's giveaways. Carla sent 2 charts from Cobweb Corner. The first was September 9 patch, and this goes to Joanne C. The second was Teresa Kogut, Give Thanks. This is Alice Park, Give Ye Thanks. Little House Needleworks, Pumpkins, Deb Myers, and Penny Autumn is Lorelei. And I know a couple of you have already emailed. I'll go through those today. So just got all out of sorts. This video, I have 6 things. I have 3 things from Carla, and then 3 things that I pulled in from the bag. You know, a lot of people have sent me charts to give away, so I've been trying to work through and pick out like some seasonal things. So I have 3 of those. So giveaway rules, typical giveaway rules, you need to be 18 so you can legally give me your address. Please don't say giveaway or win. I'd appreciate it if you're a subscriber. And go check out Carla's videos too and subscribe to her channel as well. I will link it below. My nose is itchy. So, the first 3 from Carla, we're gonna go with numbers. So number 1 is Who's There from Prairie Schooler. This is one of the smaller ones. 75 by 97, it's just a small chart. That's number 1. Number 2, I love this one, and my sister is stitching it, and I will borrow the chart from her eventually because I love it. Fly by Night, Flying Lessons is what it's called at Silver Creek Samplers. This is number 2. I think she released this at Market in March. It had been in a box, but she released that. Number 3 is a PDF of Carla's chart, This Witch Can Stitch. So if you win that one, I will email you the PDF. The next 3 are passed on from some viewers. So number 4 is Bewitching Hour. This is by, is it Hindsight? I don't remember how to say it, but it has the charms and everything. It's like a clock face that goes here in the middle in a spider web. So Bewitching Hour. Number 5, Harvest Keeper by Plum Street. That's a beautiful chart. And number 6 is Berry Bird by the Scarlet House. So that is this video's giveaways. And then purchases. First I had a little piece of Happy Mail. I had a thank you card from Cindy. Beautiful sunflowers. She had one to give away and sent a thank you card, and she sent a little baggie of like some Jabco buttons. They're kind of, there's a sand dollar and a sailboat, so they're very beachy. So thank you very much, Cindy. I will use those. And then when Carla sends charts for you guys, she also sends ones for me, and usually, sometimes I haven't been showing you because they get put away and I forget. But I definitely want to show you this one because this is a newer release. This is called Trick or Treat, and it's by Cottage Garden Sampling. You can do this as one big giant piece, little circle ornaments, or with the border if you want a square. I love this. I love this owl and these crows and this cat. I don't like this creepy spider. But I love this chart. The bats are cool. I might have already said that. So that's what I got from Carla. I kind of want to start that. I ordered a bag from Christina, who is Quilting with Nico. She makes those bags I love with the handles. So I'd been looking at the Teresa Kogut Witch fabrics, and I thought about buying some fabric and making a bag, and I just didn't have it in me to make a bag. So I'm gonna message Christina and see if she's getting any of that fabric. She was. So this is the bag I got. I went with the green witches, and then she does the vinyl bags, and she used there's a print on there from the same line with the handle. This is her large bag, which is what I like because you can fit all your stuff in there. So it's Quilting with Nico, which I will list below. She has more fabric and she's making more bags. She said she's hoping to list them at the end of September. So if you're interested in knowing when they're available, I would go to Etsy and favorite her page, like her main page, and then when she posts new items, you'll get an update that there's new things that have been posted. So her bags are fantastic. She sent a note, actually she wrote a note on my invoice, and it said, I hope Emmy likes her new bed. I'm sure she will. And then Christina also passed the stash to me on a chart, which is adorable. This is Madame Chantilly, and it's called Pumpkin Thieves. I've seen people stitch this. It's gorgeous. It's huge. I mean, there's a lot of blank space, but that blimp would take a good long time. So that's what I got there. And then the only other thing is I ended up joining Mystic Fabrics Fabric of the Month, and this is my first one, and it just came yesterday, so I know some people may not have it yet. So I'm not going to say the name. Oh, I can say the name, it won't matter. The name is Fantasy. That's not giving anything away. I'm getting 28 count Lugana. So if you haven't gotten yours and you don't want to see it, look down for just a minute because you're going to love it. It's super pretty. So look down. So there it is. I got a bigger piece. It's just folded in half. So I've put that down. I don't know how she gets her Luganas so dark. I love it. Sometimes Lugana, because it dyes lighter, it's hard to get a saturated color. So that was the September Fabric of the Month. That is it. I don't know why these are over here. That's all my things. Next 2 weeks is just going to be more of the same. I'm going to try and finish up the Halloween boo block. I have some Halloween fall finishing I need to do. I'm sure I'm going to work on that Give Thanks piece because that one's really been calling to me. I love the colors. School stuff. That's it. Back to school, it seems to quiet down a little on the weekends. But during the week, we're super busy. So my parents went back to Florida, so we aren't going up there as much on the weekends. Well, we aren't going there at all on the weekends. So it'll be kind of quiet. So look for those new tutorials this weekend probably, and then I'm hoping to do the cording tutorial next. I need John's help for that because to show you how I make the cording, it's a two-person job. The cording making is not, but the recording of the cording making is. So I hope everyone's doing well. Have a good start to your September, and I will see you in a couple weeks.